It is 12 noon on this Football Friday. Welcome in. This is Three Man Front. Conrad will be back with us on Tuesday. Not Monday, but Tuesday. We will be live as we customarily are on Labor Day. So please join us starting at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. It'll be a very special Reaction Monday because we've got the Auburn game tonight. You got the Alabama game tomorrow. So we will be here in studio. So join us, watch us, listen to the radio, download the Jox 94.5 app. Take us along wherever you are on the Labor Day weekend. I know some folks like to head to the lake over the weekend or maybe go visit out-of-town folks or go to a game, go to Waco, go to Tallahassee, whatever the case may be. But we will be here on Monday.
We got a lot of texts that we need to get to on the Jox text line, 205-834-9450. Bobby weighs in, says, so I picked LSU over Clemson, 38-35 in overtime, but I want to add to it. I think Garrett Nussmeier starts his Heisman campaign with 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and Caden Durham adds 100 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns in the teamy version of Death Valley. All right, Bobby. Big LSU fan. Let's see here. Yeah, probably don't need to do that one. Jamie says, don't y'all think the new turf was by design just for the Bama game? How convenient. Well,
they had the refurbishment of the stadium.
Yeah.
They probably were waiting to a certain point before they could put it down. I do have
by the way, both teams have to play on the turf.
Yeah.
Florida State doesn't get their own turf. They have to play on the same turf.
Some good news for Alabama on the injury front, and there hasn't been much lately, but Nick Kelly from AL.com, friend of the program, he just tweeted out a few moments ago that Alabama guard Jaden Roberts has been cleared to play against Florida State. You know, he has been in concussion protocol for a while. And the interesting part about this announcement, according to Nick Kelly, that it was done through Yay Alabama. So they're the ones that made that announcement. That, of course, is the official University of Alabama NIL entity. So they're the ones that tweeted out the fact that Jaden Roberts has been cleared to participate in the Florida State game. And that's one of the strengths of the Alabama team is the offensive line and getting another piece back that adds to that depth. That is something I know watching a bunch of the Florida State podcasts over the last couple of days. That's the one area that they're the most concerned with is the Alabama offensive line being able to pretty much dominate. And if they want to run the ball and chew clock and wear out Florida State's defensive front, that's something that they are the most concerned about.
Matthew Seals texting the show, and he says Bama wins 35-10. All right. Let's see. Conrad Van Chaos. Yeah, that was one that he actually had for Wimp. Drake is asking, Mr. Pat Smith, who do you think will be on the hottest seat if they lose their opening game? Is it Hugh at Auburn or Stoops at Kentucky?
I think it'll be Stoops.
Robert says Nebraska needs a more offensive-minded coach than Matt Rule. Too many checkdowns, leaky Nebraska rush defense. Matt Rule never wins big. Too much conservative offense. Rule is overrated. Bama hater chiming in, and Crimson Convict didn't get Bama +4. He can cancel that parlay. And this one reads, Landrum, what is one positive and negative overreaction for UAB after their opener last night? The negative overreaction would be that the defense is not going to be any better this season. The positive overreaction would be that the offense is going to put up over 500 yards per game and average 48 points. Do you think that's fair?
Okay.
That would be the two. Keep the text rolling in. 2058. You people are fired up today.
FSU Dave has texted in, and he's talking about the turf because we're just talking about the turf that they're putting down at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Yes.
He says that they're planning on doing a new turf every year so they can have concerts, etc.
Oh,
They're at Doak Campbell. Costs about $350,000 for the turf.
you know the turf that I got from Arkansas that I brought back and I
Mhm.
planted in my yard?
Mm-hmm.
It is thriving.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's thriving. Not very much of it.
And you got the section that has the Walmart logo on it, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Landrum's out there digging it up after the game.
It was perfect. It was like somebody had it was almost like a Scotty Scheffler divot.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give everyone at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, fair enough warning. When you see Landrum on the sidelines this year, because every time he goes to an SEC venue where UAB is playing, he ends up taking something from the field or the perimeter of the field with him. When he was between the hedges a couple years ago,
I tried to get Ugga out of there.
he wasn't Ugga, but he got part of the hedge and he brought back to me.
I did take a picture with Ugga, and I did bring that hedge back to you.
Yes, and it's proudly displayed,
It is.
as you've seen,
Mm-hmm.
down in my man cave. And you went to Arkansas last year, and what did you do?
That big piece of turf right in
Big
front
ton
of me.
Turf.
There was a tackle on the sideline, and this piece of turf just perfectly cut from the field.
And you put it in your backpack.
Flies up in the air, and it lands at my feet.
And you put it in your backpack.
And I immediately thought, yeah, I brought those hedges back. What if I bring this turf back? And then I did some investigating and found out that this Tacoma blend, whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
it would thrive in my yard. And so I brought it back on the plane, got a Ziploc bag, planted it. It's nice. When Arkansas plays, I go stand around it.
So what are you going to bring back from Tennessee?
Oh, from Tennessee? Anything you recommend?
Yeah, why don't you bring back one of those illegal speaker systems that they have down on the field that they used when Alabama was there, and they piped in crowd noise every time Alabama was trying to snap the ball. Can you bring one of those speakers? I'll tell you what, you probably can't bring one of those speakers.
No.
Why don't you just pull some of the wires out of the back just to prove that you disabled it?
You're going to pay my bail.
Oh, they're not going to arrest you.
Yeah, I feel pretty sure they would. I just hope we don't have an incident like they had at Ole Miss, or when Ole Miss came there a few years ago.
When stuff comes raining down from the upper deck.
Because I can tell you, Landrum Roberts will put on one of those helmets in a hurry, and you're not going to get it off of me. Nah, Tennessee folks, I won't take anything from your sideline unless there's something that you
I was
would
about
like
to say,
for me
what
take.
do they have?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be anything that came from Smokey. I can tell you that. Sickos.
You don't want to bring that back home with you
Um,
as fertilizer for your Arkansas turf?
That's actually a really good idea.
It's a circle of life, man.
Yeah. What do you fertilize it with?
Well, that's a
Smoky dung?
Yeah, old Smoky dung.
I got Smoky dung.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
This text reads, I think Alabama wins and covers. I think Gus Malzahn's offense will move the ball on us, especially early on. I think it'll be like 24-10 at halftime and about 38-17 at the end of the game.
Okay.
Which, if that happens, the game would go over, and that means that Alabama covers the spread. Drake says, guys, wouldn't it be crazy if my Gators lose to LIU? If your Gators lose to Long Island University, Pat, throw out something outlandish you'll do.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
Molly will shave her eyebrows.
There you go. I like that one. That's a good one.
Absolutely not.
Molly, you look great with no eyebrows.
Don't put me up for a
We'll
bet that I'm
pencil
not
them
gonna
in. We'll
agree to.
pencil them in. We'll
You'll be
pencil
fine.
them in.
No.
Ladies do it all the
I
time.
like my eyebrows.
Got a science teacher at Homewood Middle. She penciled him in. If you went to Homewood Middle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, she drew him in.
See, it was a thing in like the early 2000s to have really thin eyebrows. But I like my eyebrows.
Okay, so if Long Island wins, she's shaving her eyebrows.
No, I'm not.
That's the deal.
Don't put me up for this.
Shay texted into the show.
You guys are terrible.
He says, you two, meaning me and Pat, would be the worst criminal duo in history. Admitting to your crimes over the airways, YouTube, and on the app.
Yeah, that
Was
pretty
it
much
me?
sums it
No,
up.
Mr. Roberts, it actually was you. We have the tape
Yeah,
right here.
here you go. Play
Here's
the
the
tape.
video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're on YouTube. I forgot. Yeah.
Here's the audiogram. Yeah. Don't worry, Tennessee fans. I'll be respectful.
I know you will. That'll be good. So Cody Campbell, it's a very familiar name during the offseason. He is the Texas billionaire. He's a close ally of Donald Trump. He's going to be featured all weekend long on a TV ad that's going to air throughout ESPN and Fox during college football's opening weekend. It's encouraging Congress to amend the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 because they want to allow conferences to consolidate media rights deals. So, in other words, they don't want the conferences to so-called go out, let's say the SEC, and cut a deal with ESPN and Disney or the Big Ten with Fox. They want all of college football to be able to share the wealth. So the American would get basically the same amount of money as SEC, if you see what I'm talking about. I know it's crazy, but this is part of the thing he wants to fix. Take a listen to the commercial that you're going to see a bunch this weekend. And this is bought and paid for by billionaire Texas Tech former football player, alum, NIL leader, Cody Campbell.
And no matter who you cheer for, it's football season. And no matter who you cheer for, we all agree how much college sports mean to us. But it's at risk. Dramatic changes are causing nearly every athletic department in America to operate in the red, forcing cuts, putting women's sports and Olympic dreams in immediate danger. The solution? Congress must modernize the Sports Broadcasting Act. That single change will generate the funding needed to protect all sports at all schools. Let's save college sports before the clock runs out.
All right, there you go. You're going to see that spot as he's walking on a football field, and then, a couple shots away of an overgrown stadium and things of that nature. But the act that he is referring to, the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, it gives an exemption professional football to be played on Friday nights and Saturdays during the college football season, as it was intended to protect the college game. However, since the growth of the college football postseason, that has led to the NFL games clashing with the college football playoff games, which is a conflict not anticipated in 1961 back in the old days. It also was passed in 61 so that the NFL could have these negotiations with the television networks to do their deals. Now, amending this Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, it could help college football by allowing conferences to bundle their media rights together, potentially increasing revenue and improving scheduling across all conferences. Again, the law was originally passed to grant an antitrust exemption to professional sports leagues like the NFL for negotiating TV deals with a single entity while protecting college and high school football's Saturday market. And that has now changed because we have college football games on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. And then obviously you get into the playoffs, you're now bleeding over into the NFL. So
I'm all about more revenue for other conferences, Pat. But and look, I love you do it as well. You went to school there doing stuff with UAB and the American Conference, and I want that conference and those teams in it to thrive. But the SEC and the brand that they built, if I'm understanding you correctly, based on what he's saying, without knowing all the particulars, they've built that brand. They have garnered that interest. They have garnered those eyeballs. And that's a brand that has been built over decades and decades and decades. Does this mean that 16 member institutions are getting less money to share the wealth, or is this something totally different and they would still be getting that piece of pie, but this would be something that would be totally different?
Well, based on what Cody Campbell and his PR arm are telling people, they want to allow the conferences to consolidate the media rights deals. And by that definition, that would mean that it would be all in one collective pool, as opposed to the Big Ten going and getting X amount, or the SEC X amount, and then the leagues like the Sun Belt or the American or the Mountain West getting a lot less. Now, this isn't going to say that the SEC and the Big Ten would get a lot less, but let's just say you're trying to bring the others up to a higher margin where they currently are now.
We can't decide on how many teams and automatic qualifiers and seeding for a 12-team college football playoff. So it would take an act of Congress to make everybody do this because there's no way you're going to get agreement from everybody on this.
Well, it's just so crazy that he's spending probably, oh my goodness, probably in the hundred millions on this ad campaign. I mean, seriously, you're going to see it everywhere this weekend. And nothing is going to happen here. Because like Landrum just said, we've got so many other problems going on in college sports that need to be rectified before you even get to this. You know, this is something that you would work on if everything else was hunky-dory, and it's not. So, but hey, if you're a billionaire and you sold your energy company and made the kind of money that he made, and you're spending the kind of money you're spending on offensive linemen in Lubbock, Texas.
He's passionate about college sports. I don't doubt that at all. It's a good idea. If he's spending hundreds of $millions on an ad campaign for this, then he might have more money than he's got sense.
I think that's.
I mean that.
Been well established. I think he does.
And with as much respect as I can give it.
Let me buy softball players and offensive linemen. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, I'd take it a shot. I mean, if I had the money and I love the school,
you spend it
like
the way
he
you
does,
want.
Yeah, you played football there. Hey.
There's a lot more destructive thing going.
No doubt about it. All right, this is the Friday edition of Three Man Front. More of your text messages, your phone calls are welcome. Bet it or forget it coming up at the bottom of the hour. Are you seeing cracks in your foundation or your doors and windows sticking? These aren't just minor problems around the house. They are signs of a serious issue that's only going to get worse with time. Calling Alabama Professional Services, 205-951-9717. I passed a couple APS vehicles today coming into work. They're all over central Alabama, and they can fix your foundation. They can even tackle the sinking driveway or patio that you have around your property with their fast and clean poly-level system. Go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com. Call them today, 205-951-9717.
All right, I'm looking at current Vegas lines right now. What's the last line you saw for Texas and Ohio State?
It was actually this morning, and it was, I believe it was a 1 point spread for Ohio State.
Okay, we have an update on that particular game. It is now a pick'em.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That one just caught my eye. Scrolling down. I had not seen a pick'em yet.
Yeah, I see it too.
And the total is at 47.
Mm-hmm. A lot of movement today. We told you Alabama's line went up 0.5 point for Bama. It's at 14. Auburn's fell 0.5 point. It's currently at Auburn -1.5. Auburn is -119 on the money line. It was -127 on the money line earlier this morning.
Tennessee is at 13.5 currently over Syracuse. So it had bumped up maybe 0.5 point. Now it's bumped back down. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Auburn and Baylor still 1.5. Auburn. It was 2 early this morning. Then it bumped back down to 1.5. Auburn is -119 on the money line. Total is at 57.
Clemson -3.5 over LSU. Point total 57.5 for that one in Death Valley.
And UNLV, Sam Houston State. UNLV, just a 9-point favorite.
What's the point total you got?
61.
Okay. I think Brian said he liked it up to 62, right? Didn't it?
It sounds right.
Said?
I had to go back and check my notes.
Let me see. Let's see what he says. Oh, he says, I like it at 63 or fewer.
Okay. Toledo, Kentucky, that game's gone up 0.5 point. Kentucky is now a 10-point favorite over Jason Candle and the Rockets, who will be contending for another MAC championship.
I've just been texted that according to ESPN Bet, Alabama is now a 14.5-point favorite.
Well, going back to something Norsworthy told us yesterday on the show, this schedule of games that we have, and I'm not going through the entire slate, but just the ones that are listed here by betonline.ag for tomorrow's games. The highest spread that I've seen is Penn State over Nevada. Penn State's a 43-point favorite. But not a ton of those types of spreads we're looking at here in week 1, which is great for us as viewers. Text coming in, going back to, was it Cody Campbell?
Mm-hmm.
The Texas Tech billionaire booster. Posey says, does he or did he pay all of his employees equally across the board? Hypocrisy. Shaking my head.
I have to do some research on that. I'm not sure if he did or not.
I would guess that he didn't, but everybody made the same amount of money, even though they did different things. This one reads from Alan. That ad is really applying a socialist agenda to college sports.
That's kind of what I thought, but
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody else said it, not me.
Mm-hmm. I do not support socialism.
Neither do I.
Okay. I just want to make that clear. But yes.
Was there a gray area that we thought you did?
No, I didn't.
I think people listen to the show. I think
They probably know that.
I think they know pretty well.
I'm not down with that. Sorry, Bernie.
Oh, look at that. Nick Saban's going to be a weekly guest on the Pat McAfee show. That's a shock. He's got to supplement his income.
Yeah, bless his heart.
Yeah. He's struggling.
Yeah. Terry's got him working again.
He's actually wearing one of his patented crimson jackets.
He sure is.
I will say this morning. I'm not sure if you saw it on social media. So Lee Corso was leaving Orlando, Florida. That's his home base.
Yeah.
And he is flying commercial to Columbus, Ohio. And he's flying Southwest Airlines. And the person from Southwest that works the main gate basically got on the PA system, and he had taken a picture with Lee Corso many, many years ago there in Orlando as he was getting ready to go to one of his early college game days. And so he had the picture. He wanted to present the picture to Lee Corso, and everyone stood up and gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
Pretty amazing that he is flying commercial, and
Well,
he's flying Southwest Airlines
all right.
to Columbus, Ohio.
So, real quick, funny story though. You never know who you're going to see on one of those flights. I was on a Southwest flight, had a connector in Chicago. Midway through the flight from Birmingham, I look across the aisle, and you know who's sitting there reading a USA Today?
Danny Sheridan.
No. Mike's Live.
Mike's Live.
We're walking on a little jetway after we get off the plane there in Chicago. Say, hey, Commissioner Slive just wanted you to know that the SEC Network, that announcement, that's amazing. Love what you do, not only for the SEC, but for college football, and just wanted to shake your hand. For the next 20 minutes, Mike Slive engaged in conversation, asking me questions. I didn't want to, bother him too much. I was just going to say my piece and move on. But I'll never forget that conversation. He could not have been nicer and gone out of his way more. And those are the things you remember. But that being said, to say you never know who you're going to see on a flight.
I can tell you one thing: Kirk Herbstreit would be on a private plane. He would not be flying Southwest Airlines.
No, he's got a pretty sweet little deal there.
Yes,
I saw Paul Feinbaum during the we were still having to wear masks, and I saw him in the airport. And we were actually on the same plane, but without pulling my mask down, it would have made it awkward. I'm glad we don't have those anymore. Well, most of us.
True.
Sorry, don't get me going. All right. We do have Better to Forget It. I'm going to try to remain unbeaten. Molly's going to try to catch me. Conrad is, we have no idea. Sealed envelope. Probably smells like poo-poo.
Oh, Landrum.
You just touched it. Better to Forget It. It's next. Wash your hands.
Each and every Friday on this program, we do a segment called Bet It or Forget It. I come up with 5 games, Molly, Conrad, and Landrum, against the spread that we have determined a few days earlier. So I know we've been talking a lot about the changes in the point spreads, the Auburn game, the Alabama game. It's been fluctuating a half a point here or there. But the lines that we established a couple days ago, and so the lines that I'm going to say for each individual game that we're going to get their picks on, they might be a little bit different than what the current spread is. But for the record, that's what we will be going with in regards to it. So this is what we call Bet It or Forget It.
The following is for entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised.
3-man fronts. Bet it or forget it.
Okay, as you all know that Conrad Van Order, he is down at the beach with his lovely bride, Paige. He will be back on Tuesday. But before he left, and for those watching on YouTube, I have it right here. You see it's a sealed envelope. I will now open the envelope.
Ooh.
And what does it say?
Is that the one? Is that
What's
the
it say?
envelope with the adhesive, or you think he licked it?
It looks like he licked it.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Would you doubt that he would have licked it?
No.
no.
What does that say?
Conrad, bet or forget.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
say I can't read that far.
Okay. But I do have his. He didn't go into soliloquy like you
That's
do at times, but
Yeah.
there's a couple of write-ups or whatever. But we'll get to that in a second. First game on the docket. Auburn -2.5. That's the point spread we're going with. -2.5 at Baylor. The point total is 58.5. This is the first time Auburn opens with a true road game since 2002 at USC. Baylor is one of the hottest teams in the country at the end of last year, going 6-0 straight up and against the spread to close the season. Auburn was favored by less than 2 touchdowns 4 times last season and lost all 4 of those games outright. Baylor is 6-4 against the spread as a home dog since 2021. I'm going to start with Conrad, and then we'll go around the room. My pick, Auburn -2.5. It may not always be pretty, but Auburn gets out of Waco with a solid road win to validate the optimism of Barners across the country. So Conrad is taking Auburn -2.5. How about you, Molly?
I'm with Conrad on this one, but I'm proceeding with caution because in the past when I have picked Auburn, boy, have I been burned. So I'm taking a chance on the Tigers. Please, Hugh Freeze, do not let me down. But I'm taking Auburn -2.5. I really think that they can get it done on the road. But again, it's a hesitant 2.5.
Okay. How about you, Landrum? You went 5-0 last week. You were perfect.
Length and girth. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
Auburn's got length. They've got girth, especially on the offensive line. The addition of Mason Murphy, Xavier Chaplin. I think the offensive line is going to have them a night. Jackson Arnold, can he surprise? Maybe so. But I think the defense for Auburn is going to be the story. Interior of the defensive line versus the interior of Baylor's offensive line. That's going to be a question mark early for me. That's something I'm going to be watching. But I think Auburn's DBs, they reign supreme in this game. I was tempted to go with the under, but instead I am going to take Auburn minus the 2.5 points tonight in Waco.
Oh boy, we all picked the same thing.
I know.
Next game, Alabama -13.5 at Florida State. The point total is 50.5. Bama has won its last 23 season openers, 18-5 against the spread in those 23 openers. Alabama finished last season with a +7 turnover differential. Florida State was -16 in the turnover margin. Kalen DeBoer is 14-3-1 against the spread versus non-conference opponents in his career, but he is 0-2 at Alabama when he plays a game in the Eastern time zone. All right, let's start with Molly.
I did it with Auburn. I'm going to do it with Alabama. I am taking Alabama, the -13.5. Clearly, on paper here, Alabama is the most talented team. And you know, they're going to come into this game with a chip on their shoulder because last time they played in the state of Florida, they lost to the Michigan Wolverines. I think Alabama, they're going to want to go in there. They're going, what Conrad said yesterday, they're going to want to shut up Tommy Castellanos and kind of prove a point. And we saw what happened in their non-conference game against Wisconsin last year. I think the Tide's going to roll. I'm hesitant on the over-under just because of the weather situation, so that's why I'm staying away from that. But like I said, I did it with Auburn. I'm going to take it with Alabama. Give me Tide in the points.
Actually, I'm going to go with the total because of the weather situation, and it really doesn't change the way that I look at the game, but it makes me want to go with a total more so than a side.
And I respect that.
I like Alabama to win this game. I think it goes under the number of what's the number on your official number?
50.5.
50.5. Yeah, I could see 31-17. I could see 31-13. I could see Alabama winning 31-10. The point being, I think Alabama wins the game. There's a good chance that they cover that 13.5, Molly, but I think that number as a whole, maybe Florida State gets some early points, but Alabama settles down. That total goes under 50.5.
I like
the
it.
under.
All right, this is what Conrad wrote. This is Alabama's opportunity to wipe the slate clean from a messy 2024 season. FSU can talk the talk, but can they walk the walk? I certainly don't think so. I expect the Bama defense to take the smack talk personally and create multiple turnovers in Saturday's sloppy conditions. Behrman and Young will be household names across the state by 6 p.m. on Saturday. Ty Simpson finishes with at least 100 more passing yards than Castellanos. Ryan Williams scores 2 touchdowns, and the Crimson Tide will cruise to a 38-20 victory in Tallahassee. Roll. Can't use that word. Can't use that word. Tide.
Very good.
So there you go.
38-20, huh?
38-20, according to Conrad. All right, game number 3. LSU is a 3.5-point underdog at Clemson. Point total is 57.5. This is the first ever regular season meeting between these two teams. Isn't that crazy? First time ever in the regular season. LSU, they have lost 5 straight season openers. It's been well documented. The Bengal Tigers, they are 7-5 straight up, 4-8 against the spread on the road under Brian Kelly, while Clemson is 63-5 straight up at home under Dabo. Let's start with Landrum, Mr. Perfect, 5-0.
I look at Power 4 numbers of returning starters. Clemson was a playoff team last year, right?
They were.
Okay. They got 16 returning starters. And I think they're better. They're bought in. I'm buying Clemson. Sorry, LSU. Sorry, SEC. Give me Clemson at home, straight up.
All right. How about you, Molly?
I hate that I'm picking the same thing as Landrum again, but we know Brian Kelly at LSU is, you said, what, 0-5 in openers?
Yep.
I think after this weekend, they're going to be 0-6. And going into this weekend, obviously, there's a ton of implications. Both of these teams have very high expectations going into the season. But also, you got to remember, this is the battle for who the real Death Valley is. And I think Clemson and their fans are going to want to show LSU. I'm not saying they're the real Death Valley, but we know that's what Clemson is going to want to prove this weekend. So I'm taking Clemson -3.
Conrad is taking LSU plus 3.5.
Ooh, I like it.
So he's going different. He likes LSU.
Okay.
He's very different.
All right, next game, Ohio State. They're a 1.5-point favorite against Texas. Point total 47.5. Ohio State lost 15 NFL draft picks last year. Texas lost 12. Texas has won their last 6 season openers, 5-1 against the spread in that time frame. But the Longhorns are 1-6 against the spread versus the Big Ten since 2006. Who you like, Landrum? Texas and the points, or Ohio State -1.5?
And I want to go Texas in the points, but Arch Manning on the road in the horseshoe. I just can't do it. Yes, I can. He's a Manning. He will get it done. Mannings rise to the occasion. As Norsworthy said, the Mannings, they eat pressure for breakfast. Give me Archibald Manning. That's not his name. Arch Manning and the Horns, plus the points on the road. Payback. Suck eyes.
Shocking. I'm actually going to take the under in this one. The reason why is because going into this matchup, you have two very inexperienced new quarterbacks,
What's the total?
essentially. 47.5, is that right?
Yes, 47.5.
So I think the defenses, both defenses are going to be the storylines of this game. And plus, with all the draft picks, I think you said, Ohio State have 15, Texas have 12, or
Correct.
vice versa.
Mhm.
Going to be a new look for pretty much the entirety of both teams. So I kind of like the under in this one. But I also like betting the under.
I don't hate that.
Thanks, Landrum.
Conrad is taking Ohio State -1.5.
Ooh, we all pick different. I like when we all pick different. It's fun.
Me too.
All right, the final game in our 5-game slate in Bet It or Forget It. Notre Dame is a 2.5-point favorite against Miami. Point total 49.5. This is the first meeting in the infamous Catholics versus Convicts series since Miami earned a massive home win back in 2017 when both teams were ranked in the top 10. Notre Dame is 17, 8-1 in the all-time series between the two schools. Miami, meanwhile, they are 1-13 straight up, 3-11 against the spread versus top 10 teams since 2010. Not very good at all. Let's start with you, Molly. You like the Canes or you like the Irish?
See, this is probably the game on the slate that I hate the most. And I know, shocking, but on this one I'm actually going to take the under as well, because how good can Carson Beck be with Miami? How good can CJ Carr be with Notre Dame? We got two of the best offensive lines in the country going up against each other. And plus, I pulled a Pat here. I checked the weather. The thing about Miami, it's hot, it's gross, it's muggy, it might rain. This is just, in my opinion, a recipe for the perfect under. So I'm taking the under.
You know what's gross? Mario Cristobal in big games.
Dang.
I love Mario. I respect him.
That's so funny.
But in big games, Canes tend to throw up all over themselves. Jeremiah Love, you remember that guy? He's pretty good.
Yeah,
Jaden Greathouse, you remember him?
Yeah.
3 returning offensive linemen. You got a returning defensive lineman. 2 linebackers coming back. The secondary, 3 of those guys returning. Plus the additions, the maturation of some of the underclassmen. Give me Notre Dame.
I like it.
Conrad
Peace be
likes
with you.
the under with Molly.
Oh, sweet.
So he's taking the under in the Notre Dame-Miami game. So we will see if Landrum stays perfect. We'll see if Conrad makes up some ground as he is dead last in the competition. We'll see. Starts tonight.
Any instant takeaways? Armchair prognosticator?
No, not really. I mean,
Do you hate the Notre Dame pick?
no.
I'm
No,
going to be
I-
honest with you. I don't hate it either.
Well,
I
then
would
why
have
did
picked,
you take the under?
because I feel more confident in the under.
She went weather.
See,
She went humidity.
I went weather route.
She went muggy.
Mm-hmm. Barometric
Sweaty,
pressure.
hot, and nasty.
So then why didn't you go if you're talking about weather, why didn't you go the under
Well,
in the
because I
Alabama
can't
Florida
pick
State
it
game?
for every game, Pat. Got to mix it up a little bit.
What time's that kick?
What, Miami?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that in front of me. Coming up at the top of the hour, Kyle Parmalee will join the program. It's a big week 2. We've already had one humongous victory last night by Vestavia Hills over Auburn. Auburn, top 3 program in this week's Alabama High School Athletic Association media poll.
6:30 kick.
6:30. Okay. Give folks plenty of time there in Coral Gables to make the trip over to the old stadium.
There'll be a lot of Notre Dame fans there.
Yes, it will be. More 3-Man front on this Football Friday on Jox. 12:50 here on Jox. Kyle Parmalee will join us at the top of the hour. You know, when it comes to your roof, you need a company you can trust, a company that delivers on its promises in Trustful, Gardendale, Vestavia, south of town, north of town, east of town. Doesn't matter. Anywhere in central Alabama, Abide Roofing is that company. And their customers agreed. Abide Roofing is rocking a perfect 5-star rating on Google. And here's what just few of the customers are saying on Google about Abide Roofing. Abide Roofing is trustworthy, easy to work with. They work hard and have strong values. They're always willing to help, going above and beyond. If you're looking for someone honest, hardworking, and reliable, Abide Roofing is your team. They know the industry inside and out. Even another customer said that they had an employee at their home on Memorial Day morning to repair a leak. Abide Roofing puts its customers first. They believe in honesty, transparency, and follow through. When they give their word, they mean it. I am walking testament to that. Basically, what they did, they came to my house, got on my roof, had some issues. They dealt with my insurance company straight on, and I was able to get that full roof replacement. Call Abide Roofing today, 205-941-6223, or visit their website, abideroof.com. That's ABIDE roof.com. Number at Abide Roofing, 205-941-6223.
Text line is open. We love your interaction on Fridays before a big college football weekend. And we go to the text line now, 205-834-9450. And Crimson Convict says, Landrum, 5-0 again this week. I'm going to have to start paying attention to you, my friend. Thank you. Makes me feel better. Mark says Dabo has done nothing but blow games that they were favored in since he started having staff turnover. Give me LSU by 7 RTR. Richard says the reason I listen to the show so much, none of you are socialist. Thank you, Richard.
We appreciate that.
Yep.
Nor are we communists or Marxists.
Thank you. Molly and Conrad are the bumper music geniuses.
Thank you.
That one coming from Gringo. Tell Molly shaving her eyebrows would not be a bad thing.
I don't know about that.
He goes on to say, my wife lost hers in 2007 because of cancer she'd been living with.
Oh, no.
She was just as beautiful without them as she was with them.
Aw.
Bill Strickland, a big FSU fan. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
See, Molly?
Well, I don't want to shave off my eyebrows if I don't have to.
I know you don't.
Well, I mean,
You don't
Florida
have
wins
to.
and you won't have to.
Florida beats Long Island, you're good.
Well, even if they don't, I'm not going to shave them.
Well,
By the way,
we'll see.
is there a chance that my ears are safe after this weekend with Vanderbilt taking on Virginia Tech and the earring bet? Could Vanderbilt be eliminated from the college football playoff national championship game this weekend?
Yes.
I think they could too. All right. No more of these texts that I'm going to try to even edit.
Well, you got to edit?
Yeah, on the fly. People are passionate. We love the passion. That's what makes us go.
No doubt about it. Kyle Parmalee is going to join the show from Starnes Media in just a couple of minutes. Also, one of the outstanding writers to the magazine. If you've not picked it up yet, the preseason magazine, Under the Lights, is a must-have if you want to follow high school football around these parts. Big game last night. Vestavia Hills took out Auburn. I think Vestavia Hills was number 6 this week in the top 10 in 7A. I think Auburn was number 3. And they took it to the woodshed. It was 42-14 was the final score. The Rebels took out the Auburn team. So
You guys get Vestavia next week?
next week. That's a big region game for both Hewitt Trustful and Vestavia. That game will be on the banks of the Cahaba River there in Trustful.
I love what Coach Evans has done with the uniforms.
You like that, don't you?
With Vestavia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understood why Buddy kept it the way that he did for so long.
Sure.
But the updated look, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Looks very good. And they got a really good football team.
Yes, they do.
Another gauntlet for all teams in Region 3 in 7A in Metro Birmingham. We used to call it the SEC West in high school football. It is tough sledding.
What do you call it now? The best of the Big Ten and the SEC?
Yes. So Kyle will join us momentarily. We will continue to take your calls and your text messages on this Football Friday. Reminder, we will be here Monday to talk about it all. Auburn game tonight, Bama game tomorrow, everything else that went on over the weekend. So join us Monday, Labor Day, starting at 10 o'clock. Kyle Parmalee is next.